What up, people? It's me, Manny, and welcome to the very last episode of Just Cuz Reviews. Yes, it's an end of an era that was not seen by many people. Anyways, there are many reasons why I am gonna end this series. Some of the reasons are very obvious, but some not so obvious. But I will get to that at the end of the video. But yes, I can't think of a better movie to end my Just Cuz Reviews series than with my favorite comedy of all time, Dumb and Dumber. This is also the final movie in the 1994 Jim Carrey Renaissance that I have to review. So, is this really the best comedy movie ever made? Well, for the final time, I'm glad you asked. Let's discuss. Dumb and Dumber was released on December 16th, 1994, and it was directed by Peter Farrelly. I'm pretty sure I said that last name right. Also, I'm going with the Wikipedia page, because I remember they used to just say, oh, directed by the Farrelly brothers. But no, here, it just says Peter Farrelly. So yeah, I'm going with that. Now, this movie did spawn an animated series, but I never watched it growing up, and I'm not gonna do it now, so just wanted to mention real quick that a cartoon of this movie existed. It also got a prequel in 2003, which was f***ing terrible, and that's all the mention I'm gonna do about that movie. And lastly, in 2014, it actually did get a proper sequel with the original cast of Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels. And it was not as good as this first movie, but it was pretty decent. It was nice to see the old gang back. But yeah, that's all I had to say about that. Now, this movie is still pretty popular, and there's a lot of videos on it already, so I am not gonna break this movie down to a T. I'll just quickly explain the plot and talk about my favorite parts. So, spoiler warning, you've been warned. Okay, so Lloyd Christmas, played by Jim Carrey, and Harry Dunn, played by Jeff Daniels, are best friends and roommates who live in Providence, Rhode Island. They both get fired from their jobs the same day for really screwing up. Lloyd, who is a limousine driver, picks up a rich client named Mary Swanson, played by Lauren Holly, which I guess Jim Carrey really felt this way, as they briefly got married in real life. But yeah, his reaction here is hilarious. I love this. I think there was a few women that made me feel like that, but it was definitely in reference to this movie. Like, damn, she looks so good, it hurts! Love it. Anyways, he drops her off at the airport, and after an awkward and hilarious goodbye, Lloyd notices that she leaves her briefcase behind. So he rushes inside to grab it and return it to her. Problem is, her plane already left. So now both Harry and Lloyd get home, but he was being followed by these two, Mental and Shay. Mental played by Mike Starr, and Shay played by Karen Duffy. Anyways, the briefcase was left by Mary on purpose, as it contained ransom money to get her husband back from some kidnappers. Obviously, Harry and Lloyd don't know this yet, so Mental and Shay knock on their door while not being very discreet with that gun out, so Lloyd thinks they're gas men who are there to collect their late payment, so they run away while Mental and Shay break in, and to send them a message, rip their pet bird's head off. After Lloyd finishes spending the last of his paycheck and then getting his wallet stuck in a porno magazine news rack, he asks this sweet old lady to wash his stuff so he could get some change to open it up again, but after pretty much insulting her.
Senior citizens, although slow and dangerous behind the wheel, can still serve a purpose.
So after that, she robs him.
I didn't even see it come.
Harry is of course very upset that his pet bird is dead, so Lloyd has had enough and convinces Harry to take a trip to Aspen to return the briefcase to Mary. So from here is basically a road trip movie with a lot of hilarity ensuing, and I will get to that. But to hurry this up, I will just talk about the key moments that are important to the story. So Mental pretends to be a hitchhiker, and Harry and Lloyd pick him up and annoy the living shit out of him with the most annoying sound in the world. They then stop at a restaurant where Mental plans to put rat poison in their food, but Harry and Lloyd put very spicy hot peppers in Mental's food as a prank. But the prank goes too far, as Mental has stomach ulcers. He asks for his medication, so they give it to him, not knowing that they reached for the rat poison. So yeah, Mental dies. As they continue on their road trip, Lloyd takes a wrong turn, and when they realize it, Harry has had enough and decides to walk home since their dog van died. But later, Lloyd catches up to him on a mini bike that he traded the van for and convinces him to continue the trip. They get to Aspen but don't have a place to stay, so they're like freezing their asses off and get into a fight when they discover that the briefcase is full of money. So they end up getting a hotel, some new clothes, and a car, and a bunch of other stuff. But don't worry, they plan to pay it all back. Anyways, they find Mary Swanson in one of the newspapers and see that she's gonna host a gala that night. So they end up going to finally talk to her. But Lloyd is too shy, so he sends Harry instead, and he breaks the ice with a joke.
We successfully mated a bulldog with a Shih Tzu.
Really?
Yeah, we called it a bull.
But then Mary's mom or stepmom steps in and suggests that they go skiing the next day. So Harry agrees and lies to Lloyd about it and goes skiing with Mary. And they have a great time, but then Lloyd finds out and plots his revenge by spiking his coffee with laxatives right before he has to meet Mary again. And yes, it leads to one of the funniest scenes in any movie, period. I'm not sure how much of this I could play, but let me try here. Hold on. Okay, pause from the story real quick. I do remember seeing this movie in theaters, but honestly, the details are a little bit fuzzy. But I do clearly remember in this scene in the movie theater, the whole audience was just laughing their asses off, myself included. I was 6 years old. Now, the whole movie is funny, but this scene alone is enough justification to recommend it. It's f***ing hilarious. Best, funniest pooping scene in movie history. Jeff Daniels, standing ovation for that one, buddy. Oh God, just in case, I was clapping there, clapping, not doing anything else. Jesus Christ. Anyways, Lloyd steps in to reunite with Mary and takes her to the hotel room to show her the briefcase. As she's in the bathroom, Lloyd contemplates telling her about his feelings for her.
I feel like a schoolboy again. A schoolboy who desperately wants to make sweet, sweet love to you.
So yeah, he practices his lines, and then when she comes back, he says,
I desperately want to make love to a schoolboy.
They hear a knock on the door, and it's Nicholas, played by Charles Rocket, R.I.P. And he's the one behind the whole kidnapping plot of Mary's husband. So the money was meant for him. And when he opens the briefcase...
What is this? Those are IOUs. Go ahead and add it up. Every cent's accounted for.
Then Harry comes up and is also captured by Nicholas as they argue about who should be shot first. And it's Harry. But wait! The FBI then steps in and we find out that they put a bulletproof vest on Harry and gave him a gun.
But what if he shot you in the face?
What if he shot me in the face?
That's a risk we were willing to take.
So Nicholas and Shay get arrested, and Mary and her husband get reunited. And needless to say, Lloyd is very disappointed.
Lloyd!
But that was just in his head. Harry and Lloyd start their journey back home, but I just don't know why Mary couldn't just get them an airplane ticket to go back home. Like, yeah, they wasted your money, but they kind of saved your husband's life too, in a way. But anyways, I guess they're gonna walk all the way home when they finally get a lucky break when this bus full of bikini-wearing women stops and asks if they want to join in, as they're looking for two men to oil them up before bikini competitions. But they are dumb, so their response is...
There's a town about 3 miles that way. I'm sure you'll find a couple guys there.
So they continue their journey back home on foot as they play tag and the credits roll. The end. Oof, the story recap took longer than I wanted it to. Anyways, to this day, this movie is still freaking hilarious. It may be called Dumb and Dumber, but it's actually one of the smartest comedies I've ever seen. From beginning to end, there's just so many examples I could use to show just how genius this movie is as a comedy. The scene at the diner when Harry tosses some salt over his right shoulder and hits Seabass with it, and you just see Lloyd pointing at him, snitching him out, or when the cop pulls him over and sees a bunch of beer bottles on their car floor and takes a sip, not knowing that Lloyd just used it to take a piss. The whole fantasy that Lloyd has with Mary, including that fight scene. Like seriously, how do the extras in this scene keep a straight face? And even though I did talk about it a bit already, let me go back to the bathroom scene, because I didn't mention that after taking that huge ass dump, Harry finds out that the bathroom doesn't work. Oh my god. What a great reveal that was. Hilarious. And there's just a lot of parts here that get you with the hilarious comedy combo. Like the scene at the restaurant when Mental is about to freaking die. You see Lloyd's pathetic attempt at trying to help him by pushing his legs in and out like that. So Mental kicks him off. And when you see Lloyd come back, he has the freaking window blinds between his legs. Then he just violently slams his fist on his chest. And then Lloyd spits out his food, which is freaking huge. Look at the size of that thing he just spat out. And attempts to give Mental mouth to mouth as he desperately tries to stop him from doing that. So see, that was like a nice, beautiful 5-hit comedic combo right there. And I just rewatched that to make sure I got every little detail right. And I was laughing my ass off again. Like that scene is still freaking hilarious. I had to redo these lines a few times because I was laughing. There's even some subtle jokes that will catch you off guard. Like when Harry is sad about his bird dying because his head fell off.
His head fell off.
And then he says this.
Yeah, he was pretty old.
Like what? And not too long after that, when they're talking about Aspen, Colorado, he says,
I don't know, Lloyd. The French are ass.
Now, speaking of geography, I gotta admit, when I was a little kid, the very first joke in this movie about the whole Austria thing with him saying, let's put another shrimp on the Barbie. As a little kid, I thought Austria was just another way of saying Australia, so I didn't think he was off for that, besides, you know, stereotyping, which as a kid I wasn't really thinking about anyways. But anyways, yeah, I didn't know that Austria was Germany or whatever, or part of Germany. Oh crap, I guess I kind of don't know. Well, put it on the screen. I know some European. It has nothing to do with Australia. So that's what the joke was. So yeah, as a kid I did miss that joke, but I caught everything else, don't worry. But anyways, it's not just Jim Carrey who's hilarious here. Jeff Daniels as Harry is also funny as Besides what I already discussed, another part that I find very funny is when he's at the gas station and is trying to get this woman's number. He spills gas on his jeans and then lights up a cigarette for the woman. So he tosses the match right next to his leg and catches on fire. So as the woman is taking her sweet time to give him her number, he yells,
For God's sake, just give her the damn number!
Okay, I could keep going on and on about how funny this movie is and all my favorite parts, but I think you get it. Now remember in my Ace Ventura review where I said that Jim Carrey was way over the top compared to everybody else that was playing it straight? Well, in this movie you have a similar situation, but I feel like it works a lot better and is a lot funnier too. Because although they are more stupid than usual, I don't feel like they're acting over the top. They're just acting very childlike, like man-childs or something. And although they do ridiculous things at times, okay, I'm sorry, they do go over the top, but you know, like, at least they're not talking out of their ass. Literally. It just blends so much better here, and it's a lot funnier. I know I'm not explaining it like super clearly, but hopefully you get what I mean. So you know what, just let me know in the comments below if you understand what I mean here, because this compared to Ace Ventura, they're both over the top, but it's much better executed in Dumb and Dumber. Now this movie also had a good amount of deleted scenes, but for the sake of time I am not gonna go through all of them, but in my honest opinion they all kind of suck. I can see why a lot of these scenes got taken out. They weren't very funny and it dragged in some parts, and most of these were actually just extended scenes, like when Seabass finds Lloyd in the bathroom and you get to see his junk, though he's still wearing underwears, but it's bulging, and he tells Lloyd that he's actually gonna him. Oh, I had to censor that, the R word. And then this scene with Nicholas and Shay, where you see Mary's husband trying to escape in the box, but it just looks so stupid. Like that one is way too cartoony and doesn't match the rest of the movie's tone. As dumb as it could be, though like I said, this movie's actually brilliant. This scene right here would have dumbed down the movie. So yeah, not funny. There's also an alternate ending with the butler, where basically he offers them a job and they just laugh at his face. And then the other one is basically the same thing, except that they find out that the little bird boy is his nephew or something, and they're like, oh shit, it's the kid that we sold that bird to. And yeah, I guess the second one was, you know, a little funnier, but not necessary. I'm glad they got rid of it. The ending we got was as perfect as can be. On another note, this ending is kind of sad actually, even though it's true true to their character. They should have just gotten in that bus. But also, I think it's the nostalgia in me that's making me sad about this ending. Like, damn, the movie's over. I'm feeling a little bit empty inside now. I don't know. Anybody else thinks this ending is sad? Let me know in the comments below. Also, in some of these, Lloyd and Harry are kind of mean. They're like ass. Like in this scene here, Harry just calls Mary a bitch.
Why don't you kill her first? The bitch should have told him she was married back at the airport. That would have saved us a lot of trouble.
Like, yeah, true, but come on, man. Be nice. Also, in this version of the Blu-ray, it says it's unrated and has some extended scenes already added to the main movie. And the hot tub scene is extended, and Lloyd just comes off mean and creepy and calls Harry a I think I gotta censor that too. Basically, H-O-M-O? Also in the diner scene, they actually show Seabass spitting into the burger, which, yeah, I could do without. I think the sound effect was effective enough. Also, speaking of mean, the waitress right here, what the f***? Harry should have called her a bitch, but I guess she didn't appreciate that flow joke, which is another joke I kind of don't get either. It's probably a reference to some other show or something. Anyways, the licensed soundtrack to this movie is just amazing. I love every track that plays during the movie, and it matches perfectly. Now, unfortunately, I can't play most of it because, you know, copyright, but here's the CD cover and all the names of the artists that have songs in this movie. Also, I love how badly photoshopped this CD cover looks. It's also just so 90s as f***. God, I love it. As for the OST that plays during the movie, composed by Todd Rundgren, I hope I said that right. It sounds cheap. Like it doesn't sound like a full orchestra was conducting music for this movie, but it doesn't need it. Like, it does sound cheap, but it sounds good at the same time, and it matches the movie perfectly as well. And this sad theme here is actually one of my favorites. It just gets me right in the feels. Now, for the Blu-ray quality, is actually great. Looks good, and has a bunch of extras and deleted scenes like I was mentioning, so yeah, it's worth buying. Though visually, this is not the most visually stunning movie out there, I would still like to buy a 4K copy of it if they ever release it. You know how I love to collect 4K steelbooks. Come on, release a 4K steelbook of Dumb and Dumber. Anyways, to wrap this up, this movie is still hilarious. I love it so much, and it has a special place in my heart. It was funny back then, and it's funny now, as it's aged very well. So not only is it very funny, but it also gets me in the feels too, for real. Like, when I see this movie, it just makes me feel so good. And when I think back to it, to the first time I saw it back in the 90s, like, it's such a great time. Like, being in that theater, laughing with everybody, just sitting next to my mom and watching her laugh her butt off and having such a good time. It's just a memory that I cherish so much. And it does get me a little emotional. Like, damn, it really does hold a special place in my heart. Jesus, okay, let me stop before I actually like tear up here. Holy crap. But yes, this movie truly is my favorite comedy of all time. And for the record, Harry is dumb and Lloyd is dumber. So with that, I give Dumb and Dumber a hilarious and well-earned 10 out of 10. Okay, so the next part you're about to see of me in my room, I shot back in June of this year, 2024. So obviously now it's like either late November or early December when I upload this. So I'm just gonna do an extra track here to say what I want to say, since this is my last Just Cuz review. So yeah, besides the hard work and the long hours it takes to get these videos done, I do enjoy them. I do watch a lot of videos that are similar to this style, and that was my inspiration. I just love the YouTube review community when it comes to movies and video games and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what? Let me try it myself. Yeah, I didn't catch on as big as some of these other channels, but hey, you know, I gave it a try, so I'm proud of myself for that. I did it, and I feel like along the way, I found my voice. I was a little monotone in the beginning, beginning for the first year or so, and now I feel like I've improved. Not the best, but hey, at least I have some more character to my voice now, for better or for worse. But yeah, it's crazy to think that I started doing these videos back in November or December 2020, and you know, 4 years later, here I am doing my last video. And in 2020 was an election year too, and now we're in another election year, and actually, let's not talk about the election. But yes, one of the things I'm most proud of is that now I can be in front of the camera more. As before, I used to hate being in front of the camera, and I was always behind the camera, but now, honestly, I could do both. Again, I'm not saying I'm the best at it, but hey, I could do it now, so very proud of that. But it is disappointing that I won't be able to review a bunch of stuff that I wanted to talk about, because basically these reviews are not much reviews in the traditional sense. It was mostly from my own experience with these movies and video games. So yeah, for example, I wanted to talk about all these 90s cartoons I grew up with, like Dexter's Laboratory, Johnny Bravo, the Powerpuff Girls, which badass show. It was definitely meant for guys too to watch. Like seriously, it was probably one of the more violent shows of that era. But yeah, Hey Arnold, Doug, Rocko's Modern Life, Dragon Ball Z, even though that show is long as but it's one of my biggest inspirations for my comic book, like I said, so it was definitely gonna be worth reviewing and talking about. But yeah, even TV shows like Breaking Bad, Arcane, Dexter, to movies like Memento, Terminator 2, The Dark Knight, Smile 1 and 2, to video games like Mega Man Legends 1 and 2, the Crash Bandicoot series, Gunstar Heroes, Rocket Knight Adventures, the Spider-Man PS4 game, Time Splitters 2, which I recently bought for my PS4 and PS5 and got the Platinum Trophy. I'll just tell you this right now, Time Splitters 2 is a 10 out of 10 game. So there you go, bonus review. So come on, somebody buy Free Radical and let them do Time Splitters 4 already. Stop starting it and then canceling it again. You can call it Time Splitters Forward. Get it? Forward? And then make it about going forward in time because maybe they got sent back. I don't know. Anyways, guess I won't be doing those reviews ever. Unless these videos just like blow up out of nowhere. Actually, my last review for The Mask got over 1,000 views, which never happens. Like seriously, now I'm gonna start to get decent views now that I decided to end the series? Oh well. Unless all my old reviews reaches thousands of views, this show is staying dead. But please follow me on TikTok as I will do simpler stuff in there. Also, just a quick update on my movie, which is now called Broke In, not Broken In. Basically, it's now postponed until 2025. My main actor from that movie unfortunately cannot make it to reshoots, which are essential to getting this movie finished and to make sure that the quality is 100%. So I'm just gonna postpone it until next year, but trust me, it is gonna come out next year, no matter what drastic measures I have to take to get it done, because it is one hell of a great movie. So please stay tuned to that. Down below, you can follow me on my New Age Entertainment pages on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So here's more recent me saying thank you for watching my videos. I really do appreciate you. So goodbye here on YouTube. Take care, fam. Well, folks, there you have it. Those are my thoughts on Dumb and Dumber. I am really glad I got to end my Just Cuz Reviews series with a 10 out of 10 comedy masterpiece. Okay, so why am I gonna stop doing Just Cuz reviews? Well, just cuz. Just kidding. Basically, the obvious reason is I don't get that many views. So who's watching? Why am I gonna spend hours and hours editing these things? Yes, it takes a long time to get this stuff together, and from recording to editing and getting all the clips I need. It's just becoming a lot of work than what it's worth. So that's probably the main reason. It's just very time consuming and I don't have that much time to be spending on this anymore. So I could advertise. I saw YouTube as an advertising thing now, which I did once and it's kind of effective to an extent, but it's pretty expensive too. It's like $100 minimum a month. Or a session, I don't know. It's $100 minimum. I can't afford that. I mean, I could probably, but it's not worth it. I'm not gonna. I got other stuff I gotta buy and spend my money on. So that's out of the question. Anyways, it looks like, yeah, I just don't get this algorithm bullshit with YouTube. I don't know how it works. I don't know, no matter where I share it, whatever. I just, I don't have the time to really dedicate to that anyways. So, it looks like, yeah, everything's on TikTok now. I might do short TikTok reviews, but that's also not a given. But at least with that, I could just edit on my phone real quick and get it out there. I have to do with all these expensive equipment and edit for hours, whatever. So I might do that, I may not, I don't know. But the main reason why I'm gonna stop these reviews is because, hold on. Let me see, okay, 1, 2, 3. Oh, there we go. Hey buddy, yes, look, I'm a dad now. So that's why I don't have as much free time as I used to. I want to spend time with my little baby boy here, and look at his outfit. See, he's Goku. Got the Vegeta shirt. Doesn't have anything to do with Dumb and Dumber, but hey, we want to match. Well, we want to be the same DBZ genre. Anyways, I'm talking off the cuff here, so gotta hurry up before he gets a little restless. But yes, this is the main reason why I'm gonna stop doing these reviews, because the little bit of free time I have left, I gotta make sure it's worth it. And again, this just takes too much time. Do you have anything to say? Anything you want to say? No? Okay, well, that's fine. With that, this has been a review of Dumb and Dumber. Yeah, let's see. Just cause, for the last time. Say bye. All right, I think that's good.